Greetings, it's Ian from RTO here. Welcome to another, where it's not Battle of the Debuts, it's the viewers' picks battles where you guys chose albums you'd like to go up against each other. And today's is really interesting, and thanks to Zeb for this one. There's some, I don't think we've had this before in these sort of battles, that people play on both albums, including the two main people. So Zeb chose Pierre Melon's Gong, Downwind, against Mike Oldfield's Platinum. Now, they both came out in 1979, and Downwind was out first. Now, it's Pierre Melon's Gong. That, for contractual reasons, he had to keep the name, but it has nothing to do with really the David Allan version. He brought in other musicians and they made a few albums. I think this is the third album at Downwind. The previous two had been just released as Gong, but for contractual reasons they had to change it to Pierre Moerlen's Gong. So on Downwind we have Pierre Moerlen on the drums and vibraphones, marimbas and anything and lead vocals. His brother Benoit Moerlen on vibraphone, Hansford Rowe on bass, Francois Cousse on percussion, Ross Record guitar and vocals, and we've got guests. We've got Didier Malmherb, or Herb, on saxophone, Didier Lockwood. Mike Oldfield plays guitar and bass and Irish drum on track 3, along with Stevie Winwood on track 3. Terry Oldfield, Mike's brother, plays flute on track 3, and Mick Taylor from Rolling Stones plays on track 5. So let's have a look at these tracks on here. First up is a track called Aeroplane. Quite like this. It's got some nice Hammond organ on it. Great vocal from Pierre. A really good opening track. Then we get Cross Currents. Love Pierre's drumming on this. We get some nice violin on this from Didier Lockwood. Very solid track. And then we get my favourite track on this, and it's the title track, Downwind. Lots of things to like about this. This is the one that features both Mike and Terry Oldfield. Terry is a great flautist. Mike Oldfield does his stuff. Also, you get synthesizers done by Mr. Stevie Winwood. Incredible track. It's a bit of an epic, but it's the best thing on the album, without a doubt. Then we have this little thing called Jingo Loba. It's okay. It's not my favourite track on the album. It's got a quirky keyboard in it though. It's pretty good. Then we get What Do You Know? Another good track. Some amazing guitar work here from ex-Rolling Stones Mick Taylor. Really good track. Then we get Emotions. We've got the combination here of vibraphone and violins that all work. It's a really good track. And then we get the last track, Ecstasia or Ecstasy. Very progressive rock track. Lots of nice tones. It's a really strong track. There's one track on this album that I'm not particularly a fan of, but the rest of the album is fantastic. One of my favourite Pierre Moerlen Gong albums, in fact. I do like playing this album, and I do love this one. There's not been much written about it. I couldn't find any reviews on it, but AllMusic did give it 4 stars, 4 out of 5, so that's pretty good. So let's have a look at the nuts and bolts of Downwind. Song quality, some really strong songs on here. I like the energy, I like the sound. So I'm going to give that a 4 out of 5. Production. Very good production. Lovely, crisp, clear, especially them vibraphones. So I'm going to give that a 4. Reception. There's not much about it, but if All Music gave it 4 out of 5, I'm going to give it a reception of 4 out of 5, because if All Music said it's alright, that must have been good. Cover design. Yes, a picture of Pierre on the front playing with some drumsticks. Or it's not as colourful as I thought it should be. It's okay. So I shall give that a 3 out of 5. So for Pierre Moerlen's Gong, the album Downwind gives us a total of 15 out of 20. So let's move on to Mr. Oldfield. Now, he released Platinum on the 23rd of November 1979. We don't have to go into who Mike Oldfield is. You know he's one of my favourite musicians. And there's one thing about this, it's the first album to include shorter songs and music written by others. It was also released in America as Airborne. So who plays on here? We've got Mike Oldfield doing what he does, everything. Francisco Centeno on bass guitar. Also on bass guitar, who played on Downwind, and that's Hansford Rowe. Plays on here as well. Neil Jason does some bass as well. Nico Ramsden on keyboards. Peter Lemire on keyboards. Sally Cooper plays the tubular bells. And Del Demilza on congos, or Demelza. On drums and vibraphones we have Pierre Moerlen. Also Maurice Pert and Alan Schwartzberg. David Bedford does the vocals. Wendy Roberts sings I've Got Rhythms. Peter Gordon Hall arrangements with Michael Reisman. So, side 1 is the Platinum Suite, and it starts off with Airborne, which is great. I love the guitar in this. It's in the sort of, you can hear that Pierre Moerlen drumming on that. It's really good. Then we get my favourite bit, which is Platinum 2. It's brilliant. It's great guitar work here from Mike. I love the diddly doom da da, diddly doom da da da, diddly doom da da. Really good track. And then we go into Charleston, which is very Charleston. Lots of horns. I love that bass line. I'm not quite sure who does the bass bit on that, but it's really cool. And then we go into the Platinum 4 North Star Platinum finale. Great way to end this week. Fantastic side. I love the whole thing Platinum. It's brilliant. Side 2 starts off with the weird wood henge. Yeah. Not particularly a favourite of mine. Never has been. Then we get Sally, or as it's on Airborne, in Wonderland. Very weird, but a really nice sort of vocal in it without being a vocal. And then you get some really good vocals from Wendy Roberts. And then we get the wonderful Punkadiddle. I just love that track. It's got some great drumming on that from Pierre. You've got the great guitar tones of Mike. And then Wendy Roberts sings George Gershwin's I've Got Rhythm. It's a very different interpretation, but I do like it. What do I think of this album? I love it. Okay, Woodhenge is a bit odd. It's the only real oddment on here, but the rest of the album is absolute quality. Not much written about it and reviews, but it got to number 24 in the UK charts, number big in Germany, and number 11. Got to 17 in France and Austria, number 17. Certifications: it got a gold in Germany, and it got a platinum in Spain and a gold here in the UK. So let's have a look at the nuts and bolts at this one. Song quality, great. It's just great, typical Mike Oldfield. Platinum is just an incredible piece of music, so I'm going to give that a 4 out of 5. Production, great production as ever for Mike. Everything has to be so perfect for Mike. He is a bit of a perfectionist, so I'm going to give that a 4 as well. Reception, sold a lot of albums, so I'm going to give that a 4 as well. Cover design, I love this cover. I love that butterfly in that sort of in the water. Very iconic cover, and one of my favourite Mike Oldfield covers. So I'm going to give that a 4 out of 5 as well. So it's all the 4s for Platinum by Mike Oldfield, giving us a total of 16. Oh, this one's tough. Obviously, I've been listening to Mike Oldfield a lot longer than Gong. It's thanks to Zeb that I do like Gong now. So I think they're both outstanding albums, to be quite honest. But in all honesty, I'm going to stay loyal to Mike Oldfield, and I'm going to give this to Mike Oldfield by a smidge, and that's all it is. But doesn't mean that Downwind is still one of my favourite albums by that entire Gong bracket under the umbrella of Gong. It is a fantastic album. Well, thank you, Zeb, for this one. It has been a terrific one to do. Got an even harder one next week, set by our very own mastermind, Dave. So that'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to that one as well. Okay, that's all for this one. You know what you do now. If you disagree with me, you can vote in the community. There is a poll there. There'll be a poll on the live stream tonight, or just put your answers, what you think's best, in the comments below. If you're watching it on YouTube, doesn't matter, just as long as you put it somewhere that which one you prefer. Okay, I'll be back very shortly with Pick and Mix, and this week it is in the camera's view, and we're going to look at a great album DVD video done by AC/DC, Let There Be Rock, one of the last recorded performances of Bon Scott. So join me for that later. Bye for now.